For this next anime review, I'm doing the first episode of Season 2 of DANDADAN. This anime is done by Science Saru, and it is rated TVMA. Right off the bat, I just gotta say, the controversies that have been happening on X, formerly known as Twitter, are some of the stupidest things. Seriously, people are complaining about bad guys doing bad things. Well, they're villains. Villains do bad things. I mean, it's not that hard to describe. It's just that whole thing with, if you've seen it on Twitter, you'll know what I'm talking about. But other than that stupid controversy, I really enjoyed this first episode of Season 2 of DANDADAN. It is a really good opening. I have next to no issues with this first episode. The only main issue that I really have with this first episode is I don't really know how I feel about the opening to this season. It might grow on me by the end of Season 2. There have been a few other anime openings that have done that, but for right now, I'm kind of lukewarm on Season 2's opening. But I will tell you right now, it's nowhere near as good as Season 1's opening. The ending theme I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was on par with the first season's ending. The rest of the soundtrack for this first episode I thought was really good as usual. The composer did a fantastic job with the music on this episode. The pacing as well I thought was really good. I really liked the transitions between Momo doing her investigating and figuring out what is going on, and some of the comedy bits with Ken and Jin, the stuff that they have to deal with the creepy old people. I thought some of the comedy was really good, and the action that was in this episode with Momo using her telekinetic power set and her agility to beat up the older gentleman, I thought that whole action sequence was really good. I thought that was probably the best set piece of this episode. And then when the old lady started doing kung fu and kicking Momo's butt, I thought that whole sequence was funny. And then the whole mystery that this episode was leading into, I thought the reveal of what it actually was, I thought that was a really neat twist. What happened with the creepy old people near the end of the episode, I thought that was a really funny turn of events. And I'm really glad that Science Saru have been taking their time with the animation with this series, because the animation is absolutely gorgeous. It looks just as good as the first season. There is no dip in animation quality whatsoever. I will tell you what, that whole bath scene with Momo having to deal with the villains of this episode, I thought that whole sequence was great, and I really liked how she got out of there. I thought it was quite amusing how she was able to get out of there. I felt like the pacing in this episode was also really good. This first episode was a fantastic opening to Season 2. You get some great moments with Momo. Ken and Jin get some great moments as well. The monster for this episode I thought was really interesting, and the twist that they did with that. Some of the lore and backstory for the town, I thought it was on brand for DANDADAN. And just like the first season, I can highly recommend DANDADAN, because this is not your typical shonen. And just like the first season, once you get past with how weird DANDADAN can get, you'll find a series that is very well written and just a joy to watch. That continues with Season 2. I thought the villains for this episode were very good. Overall, I really enjoyed this first episode of Season 2 of DANDADAN, and my score for the first episode of DANDADAN Season 2 is a very solid 9 out of 10. And well, thank you so much for watching my review. And as always, if you enjoyed If you enjoy my videos, please leave a like down below. And if you've been watching DANDADAN, please leave a comment down below. That would be great. And let me know what you thought of the episode overall. All right, that's all from me. This has been Ryder. I'm out.